Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are doing well. Let's get started. We're going to talk about Goodwill today, the thrift store. I was actually a manager at Goodwill, so I have some insight on how a lot of that works. We're going to talk about today why the prices get so high. We're going to talk about where's all the collectibles and the video games and the jewelry and all the good stuff. How come that's not on the floor anymore? And we'll go over some of that stuff and the good, the bad, the ugly. So I'm not going to bash Goodwill. I actually like Goodwill, but we'll keep stuff real. It's not a bash video, but it's a fun video. Okay. Goodwill started in 1902 in Boston, Massachusetts, so it's been around forever. And actually, if you do research Goodwill, surprisingly, there's not a lot of negative about it. There's going to be negative about everything nowadays. You guys know that. But if you look up Walmart, people hate Walmart. People hate Walmart so bad. DoorDash is a horrible company. People hate DoorDash. But Goodwill, it's hard to find a lot of negative. So people do like Goodwill. They are a charity. I would say they're business first. But they are a charity, and what they do, it supports job training and rehab programs for people with disabilities. I mean, who's going to get mad at that? It's a good thing. Okay. Now, these figures here, I don't believe, but this is what I found, so take it with a grain of salt. It's a charity, right? It says 90% of revenue goes to the charity and 10% for administration. I don't buy that for 1 second, but that's what I found. That sounds way off. It's probably the opposite, but that's what I found. Make no mistake, Goodwill is a business, but they do good. Okay, so let's start. How it works was there's one main manager, and underneath that main manager, there's 4 managers underneath that person. I was one of the 4. Okay, so, and if you guys know me, I do not like traditional type jobs where you're there at 8-10 hours a day. I don't like that. I very rarely work that type of job. I got bored, put a resume out. I thought I'd give it a try. So that's how I got the job. You know, it didn't last long, but let's talk about it. Okay, so when you donate something to Goodwill, it goes out of your car. The employees take it out of your car, and it goes to the first step in the process in the back there. And sometimes the stuff goes right to the trash. Okay, there's a lot of trash at Goodwill. A lot of stuff goes in the trash. I can't emphasize that enough. Now, that's not a dig against Goodwill. They don't have a lot of storage, a lot of the Goodwills, so they can't just store all this stuff. For instance, if you donate a crock pot and they already have 6 crock pots out there, it may not make it to the floor. So it goes to the first people in the Goodwill chain in the back warehouse area, and they sort it. So they'll take what they think will sell, and they put it on these rolling carts, these 5-tier rolling carts, and they'll throw the rest away. Again, more garbage. A lot of stuff goes in garbage. And a lot of people use these thrift stores to dump their own trash. A lot of stuff, the donations they get aren't worth anything. And that's another thing I want to talk about. Everybody thinks their stuff's worth so much, but it ends up at a yard sale or Goodwill. You worked all those hours for a lot of nonsense. Stuff is not important. It's kind of sad to see. I mean, people will come in with, and they'll give you a box of stuff, and they'll say, "This is my great grandmother. She cherished it," and we get in the back, and it has no value, and we just kind of, a lot of times it gets thrown in the garbage, as sad as that is. See, I'm a kind of person, I hate to waste stuff. I don't waste food. I hate to waste anything. I'd rather give something to somebody than throw it away if I can help it. So a lot of times it hurt to see some of the stuff go in the garbage. But what can they do with it? They get so much stuff, and they have nowhere to put it all. So a lot of stuff does go in the trash. Okay, so when it's sorted and goes on the 5-tier rolling carts, those carts get wheeled over to the pricers. And the pricers, and it'll be color-coded. So the pricers this month, let's say, they're pricing these things, and you just make up the prices in your head. You kind of learn what stuff about sells for. And say we use a purple tag this month. So you price all that stuff that month, purple tag. It goes out to the floor. And it's funny when you roll something out the floor, Goodwill, everybody, all the customers come because they want to raid that cart first, find anything good. So that stuff gets rolled out to the sales floor. It's there 30 or 60 days, and then after 30 or 60 days, They say, okay, go to the sales floor and pull out all the purple tags. It didn't sell. It's been 30 or 60 days, and throw in buggies, these bins, and roll it back to the dumpster and gets thrown in the dumpster. Now they do ship clothes overseas, and they do take electronics and recycle them a lot of times. A lot of times it just gets thrown in the garbage too. So from there, it goes to the trash can. I lost my train of thought. Okay, it goes to the trash can. Um, all right, so then let's talk about why the prices are so high. Since we're talking about pricing, because that's the biggest complaint. If you look up Goodwill or talk to any thrifters, Goodwill prices have gone. It's almost not as fun to go there anymore because it's become so expensive. But here's why: they're incentivized to price that stuff as high as possible because the floor managers get bonuses each month based on the sales of that store. So we're taught and we teach the employees and we also price. The managers also price. A lot of people price, and we just price that stuff as high as possible because we get bonuses based on that. So we're incentivized to price high, price high, price high, and the bonuses are good. $300-400 a month, $400 a month for 2 months, $800 for 4 months, $1,600. That adds up. That's a good little bonus. So that's why the prices are just way too high now, and that kind of stuff. It's incentivized to price it that high. And why are there no collectibles and video games and comic books and action figures and high-priced fashion items and fancy shoes? That stuff does get donated, but it doesn't make it to the sales floor. That stuff gets shipped to another location where they put it online and they sell it that way. And again, you can't blame Goodwill. They want to get the most money for it. So they have online auctions for that kind of stuff. But that's why, I mean, you can still find treasures. It's still a fun little hunt. But some stuff will sneak through if the employee doesn't know what it is. Like I wouldn't know a lot of high fashion items. I would price them regular and put them on the floor. And some might find that and find a good buy that way. But that's why you don't find a lot of treasures anymore at Goodwill because they don't make it to the floor. Because Goodwill is a business, and they want to make as much money as possible. All right, so, here's something interesting. I think most of you know this, but they sell a lot of clothes, a lot of blankets, comforters, curtains, tablecloths, pillows, all that kind of stuff. None of that stuff is washed. I saw a bunch of comments about, and the people were talking about it, they think it's all been washed. Goodwill washes it. It wouldn't make any logical or financial sense for Goodwill to have a bunch of washers and dryers in the back and hire employees to wash and dry clothes all day long. It wouldn't make any sense. So nothing's washed. If something comes in and stinks or stain, it just goes in the trash. But it's not a big deal. I mean, you just when you buy something, take it home and wash it. But it's not washed by Goodwill. All right, here's something I didn't know because I was a big shopper at Goodwill for many years. I was a thrifty. Is that what you call them? Because I would go. I'd buy stuff. I even had a deal with one of the Goodwills back in Florida before I even worked there, a different Goodwill, that me and my friend had a deal with the manager of Goodwill for selling books. Now, this is way back when Amazon was just selling books. So we would buy giant pallets full of books from Goodwill. We'd have to rent a U-Haul and bring the books to me and him each had a one-bedroom apartment, and our whole apartment was full of books because we bought them bulk and we listed them on Amazon. That's how we made a living for a while. So I was a big Goodwill shopper, and I always assumed that the employees get the good stuff first. They get in the back, they got first dibs on it. A lot of good stuff doesn't make it to the floor because the employees get it first. But that's not true. This is a good way Goodwill does things like this. It's good for the customer. Employees, and they're strict on this. Employees cannot get first dibs. If an employee found something they like, you have to price it and put it on the floor like normal, and you have to wait 3 days. You have to give customers a chance to buy it first. Then if it's still there after 3 days, then you can buy it. I thought that was very cool, and I like that Goodwill does that because Goodwill's already taken all the collectibles away before they hit the floor. So at least the employees, which I assumed this back in the day, employees get all the good stuff first. That's just not true. They're very strict with that too. I like that about them. Okay, what else we got here? Oh, I have so much trash. There's a ton of trash. And it's not that Goodwill's doing anything wrong. They just get donated a lot of stuff that has no value, or a lot of duplicates, or they don't have room for a lot of stuff. They get donated some medical equipment that the Goodwill doesn't want to resell for liability reasons. I mean, a lot of stuff goes in the trash, and it just has to. That's just, they get so much stuff. How they treat their employees. I'd be curious about that. Well, they actually treated me very well, and they treated their employees very well. I thought so. And I would keep it real. If they sucked and they treated us like crap, I would just say they were horrible. DoorDash is horrible. See, I had no problem saying that. DoorDash is horrible. But Goodwill was not horrible. I felt they were a fair company, decent company. When I first started, they immediately gave everybody, managers, a $2 raise and employees a $1 raise, just because they want to have less turnover of employees. So they want to start paying employees a little more to try to keep them longer. So, and it was well above minimum wage. It wasn't minimum wage. I thought they were fair. All the managers were nice. You know, every place is going to have a couple asshole managers peppered in, but for the most part, the people were super nice. So I liked how they treated the employees, and how I was treated. It was pretty decent. I did quit because I cannot work a traditional job. It drives me crazy. Plus, I make more money working for myself on my own. But and the logo, which you'll see in the thumbnail, that's called, it's a G. I might be the only one who didn't know that. Did you guys know that that's a G? They call it a smiling G in the logo. You'll see it in the thumbnail. I didn't know that. Maybe I'm the only one who didn't know that. But it's called the smiling G. Oh, who cares? Anyway, all right, that's all I got. Thank you so much for watching. I had to reshoot this video because I posted the other video and the sound was off. So it drove me nuts to have the sound not match my lips. It drove me nuts. So I'm reloading this video. I just reshot it just now because I know it just drove me nuts to have the sound off. I hope this sounds better. I'll test it before I post it, unlike I did the last one. Subscribe if you want to. I'll see you guys in the comments. Tell me if you guys shop at Goodwill stores. Do you enjoy Goodwill? Do you guys do thrifting? I know for sure some of you guys do thrifting. It's a good way to make extra income on the side. People go to thrift stores and garage sales and flea markets, and you can buy stuff and take it back and resell it. I do that now. I have a couple of dog crates I found at a yard sale. I haven't listed them yet, but I have to get them listed. But it's a good way to make extra income. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys on the next video.